Welcome to this edition of the Nerdthusiast Gaming Podcast, where today we're going to be discussing our Game of the Year, 2023. No, just kidding. 1993. Of course, we're doing some old stuff. With me, as always, my good friend Wes. Wes, how you doing, man?
What's up, my friend? What is going on?
Not much. Ready to talk about some old-ass games.
All right. 30 years ago. I love it.
30 or 20? Is it 30? Don't tell me it's 30. Is it?
It's
Wes?
30.
Oh, my God. All right, it is 30. Holy cow. Wish it was 20. So we're going to be covering some games from 1993, and we're going to talk about some notable titles first, and then we're going to pick our Game of the Year. Our other topics are going to include Activision games that we want to see return, because Xbox, of course, has purchased them, so we want to weigh in on some stuff we want to see come back. We're going to talk about system launches then versus now, how modern-day system launches are much different from they were back in the day, and then we're going to wrap things up with the price pulse check at the end to pick two retro games or semi-retro games, maybe not so retro games, just to talk about the prices and see where the market's kind of at. So this is a recurring segment that we do every single month. But before we get started, I just want to mention, please consider supporting us over on Patreon, patreon.com/nerdenthusiast. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, and we truly, truly appreciate it. Bernardo, shout out to you for your support this month. We definitely appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, Bernardo. Thank you as always. We appreciate everything you do for us.
If you don't want to support us monetarily, just check out, and just view some of our stuff. Is fantastic. Or you guys can leave a nice review for us over on podcast services. That really helps us out as well. You can do so on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Without further ado, Wes, let's get into the notable games. So we're going to be covering some notable games from 1993. We're going to split this up into two sections because there's quite a few to cover. And at the end of the second section, Wes and I will pick our Game of the Year from 1993. Wes, where do you want to get things started today?
Well, I think I'm going to get started on one of your favorite franchises.
Okay.
On a platform that didn't get some love, depending on who you talk to. I love my Sega CD. And so the game we're going to talk about is Sonic CD, because that came out in 1993, and it was good.
It was a very good Sonic game. I didn't play this till much later. Actually, just a few years ago was the first time I played it, because I heard it was good, and I was like, really? I've never played this before. I never had a Sega CD. So there's a downloadable version. I think it was 360, but of course it was backwards compatible on Xbox One, and I played it there first a few years ago. And man, is that a 90s game. Holy crap. The music, Wes, is so 90s, it's ridiculous. But I love every second of it.
It is. It was, it was at the time, actually for the longest time, considered one of the best Sonic games that was made.
I never beat it, but from the amount that I played, I would definitely put it up there with the old school ones, like, right up there with 1, 2, and 3 for sure. Like, this is a fantastic Sonic game that everybody who loves Sonic should be playing.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Next up, I'm gonna be taking a little bit more. I don't know how Wes is into this. I'm gonna guess that Wes is not that into it. I think he probably likes it a little bit, but I like Star Fox quite a bit. That first Super Nintendo game is fantastic, and perfection was, of course, the N64 version. But Wes, what are your feelings on Star Fox for SNES?
It's good. It was, I remember when it came out, and the whole buzzword was like the FX chip and the polygonal graphics, but as a whole, forget the graphics. Star Fox was fun. It was fun to play.
I didn't think you were going to like it as much as this reaction gives me. I'm kind of surprised by that. I know you like shooters, of course. I'm not that dumb, but I just didn't feel like this was your jam.
It was at the time it was new. It was different. Nintendo, they came out with something that we've never seen or played before on a home console, and we got Star Fox out of it. So I was all about it. I was all about it.
Emulating 3D on an SNES, it's freaking mind blowing that could even happen then. Then of course Genesis had a few other titles too, like
VR racing and
yes, exactly. And they even had a Virtua Fighter on Genesis, which nobody
Ugh.
should ever probably play, but
Ugh.
they did it.
Why? But yes, they did.
So yeah, check out Star Fox if you guys have it. It's a fantastic franchise, but the SNES and N64 versions are spectacular. We are going to mention a few that are not console based. Eventually, this did get ports to consoles, but we have to mention Doom. I mean, come on, it's freaking Doom. This is where it started on the PC back in the day. Probably like 17 floppy disks long or
Hmm.
something like that. That you many people had shareware versions of course.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
but I have very fond memories of Doom. I was very uh, obviously I was pretty damn young then, but the first time I remember playing it was on my friend's computer. It was probably a few years after it came out. It was probably closer to like I would say 95, 96, like a few years. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is a PC game. I was like, PC games I always thought sucked. This is awesome. Like this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. He's a mouse and keyboard. What is this? But it worked, and I loved it.
I never played Doom. I didn't play a third person. I'm sorry, a first person shooter like Doom until Duke Nukem 3D.
I mean, that wasn't that much later, but
But yeah, never played Doom.
still
No, I never
okay.
played the original Doom. Doom 1 or Doom 2. I didn't really play a Doom game, honestly, until I want to say Doom 3 for the Xbox or Xbox 360.
What?
Yeah,
That is shocking. I can't believe that.
yeah.
Um, how? Hang on. Look, Duke. I played Duke Nukem 3D as well. Duke Nukem was fun. It was fantastic. How did that not like make you say, "Oh well, this is cool. Let me go play Doom or Doom 2?"
It just didn't. I had no idea. It just didn't. Just it just didn't. I don't know. There was too much stuff out and coming out that had my attention. So Doom was in the back burner. Doom wasn't even a consideration.
So did you have like around this time? Did you have a PC that was like strong enough to play these games and stuff, or
I
not really? Or
I didn't. I didn't. I
okay,
didn't get a PC until like late in life.
same with me. I got it later, but my friend had one a few years, and
hmm
that's how I got into it. Somebody else had it. Was that how you played Duke Nukem 3D?
Yeah. Yep. Over his
Okay,
house.
well that makes sense. But you need to rectify this somehow. Look, go on your Xbox. You can download both of those games for like $1.50 probably each, or you have Game Pass. You could download them for free and play them right now,
True. True.
and they're fantastic.
Okay.
Get yourself a boomer shooter, Wes. Get in there. Come on. You gotta talk about this next one. I'm just gonna shut up. Go ahead.
oh man. I I couldn't let us do the best of 1993 without mentioning a Mortal Kombat game.
That's right.
We got Mortal Kombat 2. And, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Mortal Kombat 2 because
I kind of do
as
too. So go ahead. I'm interested to hear what you say.
man, okay, I was so good at the first one and then they released 2 and then I sucked cuz it changed the play mechanics. They added more characters and I was like, "Oh man. Oh man." I went from destroying everybody in the arcade to getting destroyed.
That's crazy. That's such a
it
turnaround, man.
it took me a minute, man. So I mean it's Mortal Kombat. I love it. It was they did such a great job compared to what they did with 1 because 1 was revolutionary and 2 just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I agree. I think that two is a much better game overall. I mostly unopposed like you mostly played fighting games like in the arcade
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and like that's I know that was your thing is
Mm-hmm.
playing against other people. I mostly played against the computer when I played Mortal Kombat for the most part. Of course, every once in a while, a friend would come over, we would play. But in Mortal Kombat One, I got really good at it. I could beat the crap out of the computer. It was like no problem. Mortal Kombat Two, oh man, there were some problems I had where I would just get destroyed. Um, I'm also so. Let me be clear too. I suck at fighting games. I'm trash. I am like garbage at fighting games. I know that. But I got so frustrated in Mortal Kombat 2 on so many occasions. I think I stopped playing it out of frustration. But I did enjoy it. Just the computer would like cheat, man. I swear to God, I'd be like
Oh
dominating a
yeah.
match, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? How did I lose that match? You know. But obviously I enjoyed it somewhat. But that's my love hate relationship. Is I
Okay.
thought it was a
Okay.
much better game, but
Oh yeah.
I couldn't stand playing that computer. Holy crap!
Oh, they added more characters compared
Hmm.
to the original roster. So no, it was better in every aspect.
I'll pull another PC game out of here. Now, this is one I'm not familiar with. We're kind of just going to mention this and move on because I think you didn't play this either. But we got to mention Myst, um,
Mm,
just because it's a seminal PC game.
very
Obviously, you and I know that, even though we don't care about it. Many, many people do.
I won't say I didn't care about it.
Okay.
Again, I didn't have a computer at the time,
Okay.
so I had to go with my friend's house who had missed,
Oh, did you play it?
and we were playing it like together because it
I
was
didn't
his.
know that.
So he would play it, and I'd watch, and Miss was different. It was good. It was really good. And the thing is, there was no action. It was all puzzle solving, but it
Interesting.
it looked really good. Nice point and click adventure. Miss set the standard for a lot of PC games going forward of that type of genre.
Yeah, it was definitely huge for sure. I just had no interest in it. I still don't. But I mean, for those of you who like it, that's cool. But it's not for me. I didn't know you played it though. That's cool. I thought you said you didn't play it, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't own it, but I did play it over my friend's house.
You got some more fighting games for me, right, Wes?
Oh yeah.
What else
Oh
we got?
yeah. We got some SNK goodness because we get the introduction of Samurai Showdown in 1993.
That's right. Now this was a I can't remember. Was this an arcade release or was this a console like port for 1993? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
If I had to guess, I would
I
say
want to say it was
probably
arcade.
arcade. Yeah, I'm almost positive because you got to figure within like a couple years or so, it probably
Hmm.
was ported. Like by like 1995, it was probably
Yep.
coming out on like Neo Geo or something. But Neo Geo was also earlier than I remember, so maybe it was.
Yeah,
It's
this was I
possible.
think 93. Yeah, no, this sounds like an arcade release.
Yeah. Correct us if we're wrong, but Neo Geo might have been out around then because every time I think of Neo Geo, I think like mid '90s, and then
Hmm.
it's always earlier. So it's possible it came out then. But
SNK already had Fatal Fury.
mhm.
They already had their stable of fighting games, and but Samurai Showdown came along, like weapon based
Mhm, mhm.
fighting game. Oh man, it took off. Popularity wise, it took off, and I love Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, I actually never played a Samurai Showdown game, but they use
What?
they have like weapons and stuff too, though, right? That was like the big thing.
Yeah, they were all swords. Like
Okay.
everybody had a sword.
Oh, samurai. Duh. That makes a lot of
Samurai.
sense. A lot makes a lot of sense. Clearly, you can tell I've never played it. Oh,
They
that's
all had special moves. They it played like a Street Fighter game with weapons.
that sounds cool.
Yeah, man.
Now
Samurai
let me
Showdown
ask you.
was different.
Let
Mhm.
me get you another question. So we're talking about Neo Geo having these fighting games. What is
Mhm.
your favorite fighting game from Neo Geo
Mm.
or SNK? I'm sorry, I keep saying Neo Geo. Let's just say SNK. It doesn't even have to
SNK.
be. Yeah.
You know what? For the longest time, I would have to say the Samurai Showdown run,
Okay. Okay.
but King of Fighters, King of
Mm,
Fighters is
that's still
is
going
it.
strong.
It is going strong.
I know they made a Samurai Showdown game a few years ago, but I think King of Fighters is probably still more relevant because they're still putting out a new one like every year, every couple of years. There's a new King of Fighters
Hmm.
popping up.
Yeah, I think they're re-releasing King of Fighters 13, if I'm not mistaken. I think I
Is
saw
that
an ad for it or a teaser trailer
is that
somewhere
considered like
for
the
it.
best one? Is that why they're re-releasing that
I
one?
think
Or
so.
okay, that makes
The
sense.
latest one. Because I think if I'm not okay, you may have to edit this out, but I want to say 15 already is out.
It is.
15 came out because I did pick it up.
Yeah, 15's out.
Okay. Okay. I did because I did pick it. I'm like, wait, I did pick up 15. So why are they
Hmm.
going back and doing 13? But anyway.
It was probably like people's favorite one. It'd be like if they ever re-released a Smash Brothers, that would be Melee, like for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But Samurai Showdown was no slouch either, so. The next game should be I know the franchise is one of your favorites and near and dear to your heart. This one,
Hmm.
I know maybe not so much as the original. So why don't you talk about this one?
So I wasn't down with these as much. I played a few of them for a period of time. I don't know. There's something about them that just it feels like it's too much. Where the first six games were fantastic for the most part, which is the Mega Man series, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
when we get to like the X series, I know people absolutely love them. I know people will argue the X series is better than the 8-bit ones, but they are not for me. I'd much rather play the 8-bit versions. X just I don't know. I couldn't even like explain it. It just felt different. It felt like an anime.
Really? See, I enjoyed the X series. It
I'm
was
not saying it's
colorful.
bad.
No, I know, but you preferred the Blue Bomber
100%.
as opposed to X, and
Yes.
I get it. I get it. They played identical.
Yeah,
They
it
played
played
they
it
played
played
very similar. X,
sure.
had the sword, and the blaster and everything, but it was more
Unnecessary thing,
colorful.
sure. Yeah. It had unnecessary things. Just being a jerk.
Oh man,
It was fine. It's a fine game. But yeah, I don't know. Do you like X better than the original ones?
I do. I have to say I do. I mean, the original ones were great. They were great, but I liked X. I really did.
Well, this would
Like
have
you
been a great
said,
year for you. Then
it
1993 was the first
it
X.
was there, man. It was there. Like you said, it was like an anime version of Mega Man, and it was great. And I love anime, so
Yeah, see, I don't, and that's I love I love cartoons, especially back in the day. So I think that was just more appealing to me. We got a couple of Star Wars games, Wes, that were very, very notable. I think
hmm
these were PC releases at the time, but they eventually came to like PS1, and at least one of them did. Um, Wes, what is your experience with Rebel Assault and X Wing?
Rebel Assault I bought on my Sega CD,
Okay, so that
and
was one of the ports. There you go.
that was one of the ports. It was Star Wars. Star Wars was hugely popular,
Hmm.
but man, I haven't thought about Rebel Assault in years. So it's like, from what I remember, it was you were an X-wing, but it was more full motion video
Oh, really? I'd
than
never played this
anything.
game.
Man, okay, now you're really making me like dig in my memory bank. But uh, I don't think it was a space combat.
Oh, like you got out of the ship and like ran around and the
Yeah, you
vault and
you
stuff.
didn't. You did. You stayed in the ship, but it played on like a full motion video backdrop.
I have to go look this up. That sounds so weird.
Yeah, it was weird. If I'm totally wrong, please leave a comment. But that's what my memory tells me of Rebel Assault. But
It's fine, Wes. There was only like 100 Star Wars games for you to keep in your memory, so
but Star Wars X-Wing was great. It was PC, space combat, big battles, it had a story to it. That was good. That was good. That was up there with like Wing Commander. I can't remember when Wing Commander that was big on PC. That came out. It was another big space opera.
yeah. Wing Commander was like a ripoff of Star Wars, but it was supposed to be very
It
good, right?
was, but no, X-Wing was good.
Okay.
X-Wing was really good.
I never played either one, but if I played one, it would definitely be X Wing, just because I hear people talk about it all the time. Like it's either the greatest Star Wars game or one of the greatest Star Wars games like ever made.
Yeah, well, again, I didn't have a computer, so I was over my friend's house who also had Miss. So we were playing. We played. He was a big Star Wars fan too, so he got X-Wing. We played X-Wing, and then it came with a sequel, which was Tie Fighter. So like one game you played as the Rebellion, the other game you played as the Empire.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff, man.